Hello to all of our faithful viewers. This is Pendragon Puma, or Connor.
And this is Mahogany Pizza, or Chris. And we have a Call of Duty video for you today. At least the gameplay. We're not talking about it.
We'll be talking about the
yes.
Xbox One.
Yes, the Xbox One. We had a PS4 video come out recently. So here's the Xbox One video that we promised. And I guess we'll just start by saying that the Xbox will be $500 and come out on November 22nd, 1 week after the PS4.
And let's see, they are going to talk about Kinect first. So
Yes.
Kinect.
And I'll point out here that we aren't going to be getting an Xbox One at launch. I'm sorry to disappoint those of you that want to see Xbox One gameplay. That's just how it is. And at the same time, I want to be very clear, just as I was in the PS4 video, that we're not fanboys of PS4s. We just prefer it. If you prefer an Xbox One, good for you.
Well,
You're free to enjoy your console of choice.
onto the Kinect. The Kinect, on the Xbox 360 at least, I'm not a very big fan of it.
I never actually used it, but I've heard mixed reports about how it is.
I don't know, the navigation stuff seems alright, but I don't really care much for talking to a metal box in my room.
No, I feel the same way. And I personally, I don't really care for motion control gaming anyway, so it's not that big a deal for me to miss out on Kinect. Especially when it adds another $100 or possibly more to the price point of the console.
Yeah,
Then-
if there was a bundle without the Kinect, then I wouldn't care as much. But just for the fact that you have to get the Kinect, that obviously raises the prices.
Yeah. And see, like, what I'd heard about the original Kinect is that it was kind of laggy to use. And this was a report I got from my younger cousins who are like 13 and 11 years old. But anyway, they were saying that it's a little annoying to use, a little laggy, maybe, So that's one negative review of Kinect that I've heard.
I have heard of the Kinect hearing other things as stop or play or fast forward when you're watching something. And then if you're watching something, it might even hear something in the show, and then it just pauses or fast forward.
But at the same time, I'm sure people do enjoy it because it's if you like Kinect, that's great.
Yeah, if nobody
just
liked it,
personal
they wouldn't be
preference.
making it again, probably.
Exactly. So I also want to add that Kinect 2 will probably be better in most regards than the first Kinect. Though I did hear from one developer, John Carmack. I think he's one of the developers at id Software, or a member of the developer company id Software. They made the Quake games way back in the day.
And they made the Rage game
Yeah.
that came out recently.
Yeah, but he
I've
was
heard
saying
of that
that
recently.
Kinect was basically like a zero-button mouse with latency, which I guess can't be good news for Microsoft if that is actually the case. And I'll take his word for it because he is supposedly one of the greatest minds in the video game industry.
On the positive side of this, the motion control aspect of any console, other than the Wii because that focuses on it, but like
Yeah.
the Kinect or like PlayStation's camera, it's not going to make or break the system. It's just disappointing that you're going to have to pay for the Kinect with an Xbox One.
Yeah,
That's
see,
really
and the
the
thing
only
that I found stupid is that you have to have, like, Kinect is automatically bundled, meanwhile you don't even need it connected.
Yeah,
to
it
play.
made sense. It kind of made sense before, and you had to have it plugged in. But now that you don't even have to have it plugged in, I don't see why
I think
I
there
have
should
to buy
be a
it.
bundle without Kinect for those who want it. Even though they have said that basically Kinect and Xbox One are one and the same, they're integral to each other, whatever, yada yada,
At least for
But-
me, I just don't care for motion control.
Yeah, me neither.
Just sit on my ass
But
and use a
meanwhile,
controller.
with all this negativity, I do think that the fast snapping features they have look cool, where you can just quickly switch from a game to a TV.
Yeah, it's definitely not 100% bad. I haven't used the Kinect with Mass Effect, but I have heard that is pretty cool because you can, at least with Mass Effect 3, you can just tell your squad to use a move and they'll use it.
Yeah,
instead
and I
of
feel like
making
it would
them do
be
with the controller.
Yeah, I feel like it would also be very cool for a sports game to use Kinect.
It
like
can
that.
have good uses,
Yeah.
but at least the games that focus on Kinect, they don't seem
I just don't
that fun
care
to me.
enough about like the good things for me to want to spend
more like
money
more like
on
a
Kinect.
companion device to the Xbox. I wouldn't say one and the same.
Well, that's what Microsoft said, basically.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to push with Kinect.
So onto the controller, I guess.
Yeah, from using your body as a controller to the physical controller.
No, the biggest
I
difference
think-
I noticed right away was that the control sticks looked a little different. instead of having these 4 little dots on it, I guess, for grip.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
it's just like
Yeah.
a grooved circle.
Yeah,
thing.
other
I
than
don't know
that,
how to
like
describe
other
it.
than that, I mean, it looks a little bit different, but I mean, they didn't seem to make too many major changes, and honestly, they didn't need to.
Yeah,
Because
at least
the
in my
360
opinion,
controller is
yeah, the
good.
360 controller is my favorite controller right now.
So, I mean, they added the rumble packs or whatever inside the controller in different areas.
This
of the
is one
controller.
thing that seems very
Seems
cool.
Really cool. They seem to have made a lot of minor improvements like that instead of whereas PS4 they had to make major improvements because the DualShock 3 was kind of bad.
Yeah, minor improvements aren't always bad. Like Chris and I always said, Treyarch makes a ton of minor improvements with Call of Duty that we tend to love a lot more than what Infinity Ward did.
True.
Specifically with World at War compared to Call of Duty 4. Ton
And
of
Black
small
Ops 1.
stuff.
And Black Ops 2. Well, even Black Ops 2, yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, the controller seems pretty cool. I'm expecting it to be just as good as the 360 controller and probably better. I don't really know any of the other minor improvements they made. I think they made the D-pad much better.
Yeah,
More
the
responsive.
D-pad looks like
The analog
it's...
sticks are supposed to be like firmer.
Yeah, the
and
D-pad
everything.
looks like it's actually... Like, the direction, or the diagonal buttons are like actually buttons, as opposed
Yeah.
to just leaning it in a direction, which is a pain
Exactly,
in the ass.
exactly. And on to some other things about Xbox One. There's the fact that they have the Xbox Live paywall. This is something that I really recognized when with this new console launch coming up, is that the paywall with Xbox Live is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Especially considering PlayStation, the only thing you need to pay for is to play online. There's a
Yeah.
ton of things you can do without paying from PlayStation
Like
4.
Party Chat, Netflix,
Party Chat's the
etc.
biggest thing, too. Because
and I mean,
a lot of the times,
Yeah.
at least recently, I haven't even been on Xbox in like the past 2 weeks. But
well, you've been playing Payday too.
that's true. That's another story. But just the fact that I'm not on Xbox sometimes, and sometimes I'll just go on just to talk to people, and I don't want to have to pay for that.
Exactly, exactly. And you shouldn't have to pay twice for Netflix.
That's another thing. And I have heard that Bethesda's MMO, the Elder Scrolls Online, since that is going to be on consoles and it's going to be subscription based, they were saying they're trying to get Microsoft to allow you to play that without Xbox Live Gold, because
That would
just because
definitely
you
be
have
a
to
good
pay.
thing. I hope the same thing applies with PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, because I mean, Xbox Live isn't really that expensive, but when you pile that on top of $15 a month game like Elder Scrolls Online, I'm assuming that's how it is. I just know it's going to be a subscription.
Yeah, it is $15.
But either way, that's just a lot of money, and hopefully Bethesda can get that sorted out.
Exactly. And before we move on, we're going to talk about more exclusives. Even though Elder Scrolls Online isn't one, we're going to talk about other games that are exclusive. I do want to just quickly mention that the headset looks a lot better, and that's related to the controller, of course. They also said they would improve the voice chat to be crystal clear, and they offered some voice samples, which actually did sound very good compared to 360 chat.
360 chat is fine in my opinion, but
Yeah,
obviously
the new one,
anything
though, I
they can
heard
make
was-
better,
it
I'm
was
not going to argue
basically
with.
really clear. And also the Blu-ray that they're adding, which is something they should have done last generation on 360, but they just didn't. So, oh well. But now we have it. Oh well, we don't have it because we won't have an Xbox One.
Some
but,
of you may have it.
Yes.
All right, on to the exclusives. The first one we'll talk about, Dead Rising 3.
I
This
think
one was
it looks
interesting because it's the first one that's an exclusive. I played the first two. I didn't really get hooked on them like most people did, which is surprising for me at least, considering how much I love zombie games.
Zombie Grandmaster.
But Dead Rising
Mr.
3
Pendragon
seems
Puma.
like a little less goofy than the other ones, I guess you could say. It seems slightly more serious.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have a lot of fun playing it. I have Dead Rising 2 just because it was free on Xbox Live, like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I had some fun playing that. But I don't really have a whole lot of experience with Dead Rising.
Yeah, me neither. Not much to talk about there, other than I do think it looks very good. Graphics look a lot better, and looks more of a serious game. But they still had some of the goofy weapon customization, like turning a football into a grenade.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's games like Rise, which the visuals are really good. It just looks like a lot of quick time, and I do like the time period of Ancient Rome. But anyway, let's move on to Halo 5, which may or may not come out.
The only thing I know about it is that there's a trailer, and Master Chief
I'm
is
sure that'll
walking
be
through a desert.
fantastic.
Saw it was Master
Or
Chief,
something.
so obviously Halo.
Yeah, and then there's Project Spark, which is very much like Little Big Planet. Sorry, we're kind of rushing a little bit because we're running out of time here. But Project Spark looks cool, and It seems like a lot of people are excited for that. And of course, the big one that everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, that a lot of people are getting excited for is Titanfall, which may or may not be a PS4 game soon enough.
And it's made by Respawn Studios, I think.
Yes.
People who left Infinity Ward.
Maybe we
so
might as well just have a separate video for Titanfall. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll
Thanks
talk
for
about
watching.
it.
Bye.
See ya.